I'm not going to sell my Ulti shares. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Khan, and in this video, I'm going to talk about why I am not going to sell my Ulti shares. So if you're new to this channel, on this channel, I showcase this portfolio that has over $227,000 invested mainly in QQQ, SPY, and SEHD. But recently, I've started another portfolio in which I am holding Ulti, ULTY, and I have bought over 258 shares of ULTY, and I have no plans of selling it. Not because I truly believe in this ETF and I think that this ETF can go to the moon and stuff like that a lot of people are talking about these days on YouTube. But my reason for staying with Ulti is just because I do not have a big investment in LT. What I have is just over $1,500. That is the market value of my ULTY or LT shares here. I'm down almost 5%, which is about $80 in 3 weeks. In these 3 weeks, what has happened though is Ulti has paid me $76. So there was $25 here, and I told in my previous video that I owed Robinhood $6 on this account. So they took $6 out. So then I'm left with 19. So $25 here, $25.94 here, and then $26. What I'm getting to is that Aldi's been paying me every Friday in this account. You can clearly see this account value, like it paid me $26. What I'm going to do with this $26 is why I'm not going to sell Alti. I am building my portfolio as a strong portfolio. So I will cover bases with SPMO and QQQI along with Ripple. So I'm investing in Ripple here, and I'm also investing in Alti. So Ripple's not going to give me any cash flow, right? So to compensate that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the Alti's share. So half of the return or distribution, or call it dividend, that I collect from Alti, I will invest back in Alti, and half of it will go to XRP. Now, talking about the positions on SPMO and QQQI, these are the two positions that I think in long term will last in this portfolio. So I really want to invest in these 4 assets as well. Now, going back to Alti's position, what has happened is I started invested in Alti 3 weeks back. So it was right around $6.22 or something when I first started, and that is the average cost that you see. Now, the value of per share of Alti has gone down to $5.91. But if you look at the overall market, so that is the Spider's S&P 500, if you look at the 3 weeks of SPY, it has gone sideways as well, meaning it hasn't gained much, but it hasn't lost much either. On the other hand, Alti has lost some, but it has paid some crazy distributions. Now, all the $26 that I'm getting, I'm thinking that I would either be deploying that $26, dividing in 2 positions, half in XRP and half back in ULTY. But then second thing that I'm thinking, and I think probably that would be the goal here, is I would start investing in QQQI from Alti's dividends. So if you're not aware of QQQI, QQQI is basically a NEOS product for NASDAQ 100 high income ETF. Basically, they sell covered calls on NASDAQ 100. What this Robinhood portfolio is showing you is just the price appreciation, but adding almost 14% or almost 15% of the dividends or distributions on top of the flat, no NAV decay and a flat market, this ETF would have made you a lot of money. Now, to go back to Alti, the plan here is simple. Just keep building a little bit of Alti so that the 10 cents that I'm getting every time, at least for the last 3 weeks, in order to get the same amount, which is $26 here, I need to invest or reinvest some of my own money back into it. And reason being, if we start seeing NAV decay that we have been seeing over the past month or so, what's going to happen is Alti at some point in the future will start cutting dividends. And I don't want to see that. So in order to keep up with the pace of Alti, I will not be selling Alti. Instead, I will be reinvesting some of the distributions back in Alti. Now, the other 2 assets that I really want to reinvest in are XRP and QQQI. Basically, this portfolio will be more focused towards cash flow. Either that or some of the, home runs that I can make if Ripple goes to the moon. Ripple currently is around $3.10, and my average cost is $3.17, meaning I am still gonna invest in it and dollar cost average my way down. So it's almost 3% down on overall investment, which was over $2,000. So that would help me over the long term. And then as I grow this portfolio before the end of this year, I would get rid of some speculative plays that I've did here. So I'll get rid of Trump coin and maybe some of the Doge. With Doge, my total return is over 313%. I've invested $30 or so. Now the equity is almost $125. So that's why I might trim Doge position and Trump position and invest all of these money, all of this cash basically back in XRP if I want to do the investment at the lower cost, so my cost basis go down, or I would reinvest ULTY's dividends or distributions back in some of the LT and some of it go back in XRP and then some QQQI. So $26 each. Weekly, if I started investing $8 in XRP, $8 in QQQI, and $8 back in LT, that'll be 33% of reinvestment of the total assets so that I can keep getting the $26 that I'm getting these days. Then another thing that over time will happen is we will, since we'll be starting to reinvest $8 or some in QQQI, it will start giving us monthly dividends as well. And these dividends will be over 1% per month of our total contributions. So say, for example, right now, we have contributed roughly $44 or $45, then we will be getting over 1% of that investment. So that's the plan with my LT shares. I'm not gonna sell those or I'm not gonna go out just because in last 3 weeks the price has gone down. The strategy looks still okay to me, and the biggest part that I've mentioned earlier in the video is that LT with over $1,500 is less than 1% of my overall portfolio, which is here over $227,000. So if you are interested in buying assets like Ulti and other yield max high dividend income portfolio ETFs, then be careful and be cognizant of how you want to reinvest the distributions and how you're going to grow the principal of your investment as well. So that's about it. I hope you guys will like this video. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care of yourself and people around you. Goodbye.